Now to the showdown over the San Antonio Spurs arena. Today, more drama playing out at the steps of City Hall this morning as a rally supporting the project was held. And at one point, you had an interesting exchange between Spurs Jesus and the mayor. This is all ahead of an important and key vote at City Council tomorrow. Let's go live to KENS 5 reporter Zach Briggs downtown. And Zach, what a day ahead of tomorrow's vote.
Right, you are, Henry. And turns out Mayor Jones wasn't even invited to this business leaders rally, but they did give her the floor for a good 10 to 15 minutes. Now, Jones reiterated that she is not against a deal with the Spurs, but she wants to hit pause until she gets another economic impact study. And she's been pushing for this independent study to compare with the current analysis already presented to council and the public. Now, City Council is expected to vote on a couple resolutions. One calls for a pause on approving the non-binding term sheet with the Spurs for a new arena. And the other item, if approved, would lead to finalizing the terms. And the president and CEO of the San Antonio Chamber of Commerce argues delaying the Project Marvel process would only lead to an even more costly situation. Now, numerous restaurant owners and hotel managers stressed urgency today that it's time to take that next step. Now, they're all for the City Council to give the green light to the term sheet between the city, county, and Spurs.
As a family that's been in downtown San Antonio for 4 generations, back to 1941, we want a great deal for our citizens as well. We just know that bringing the Spurs back into downtown will be a blessing to the entire community.
Let's look at the data, and if that independent economic impact study says, you know what, the Spurs' number, those are good numbers. Okay, great, I'll be right there with you, and I'll be selling it alongside with you. But if it's different, then we owe it to the people to explain that to them.
And joined by Mayor Jones now. So we have big decisions.
That's right.
Going to be decided upon tomorrow. You had a presence here at the rally here today.
Yeah.
What was your overall message for folks? You've been, as you said, the crashing parties, not unusual, but what's the big takeaway?
If that's what you walked away from that, then you might need to work on your listening skills. But I think what's important is that on this major generational investment, $489 million, it's important that we have 2 things. We need independent data. The only data that we currently have is from the Spurs. And again, an independent economic impact study would just give us all confidence that those numbers are correct. And if they're correct, great, let's go do this thing. But if they're different, again, we only got the numbers from the Spurs' consultant. An independent economic impact study would help us have confidence in that, given it's $489 million. Secondly, I think it's appropriate that we get the results of that study and the draft term sheet, which is essentially like a draft deal, that says that the city is going to contribute $489 million toward the Spurs' $1.3 billion arena. Some city council members want to vote on that on Thursday and say, yep, that's the deal, that's the term sheet. I think we need to do 2 things. People are owed 2 things. 1, let them look at the independent data, and 2, let them provide feedback on that draft deal. That draft term sheet is essentially a draft deal. Let them provide feedback on that, and then the city council can vote on that. That's not a hard ask. We have the time to do this. We should do this right. There are too many examples of broken promises in our community where we rush through things, right? And then, we look back and it's like, oh man, how'd that happen? Why does the East Side look like that? What happened to, where's the NFL team, right? Let's do our due diligence. And my real concern is folks want to push this deal through, and vote for that draft term sheet, which again is a draft deal. They called for us to do that Sunday night when they didn't even have the deal in front of them to look at. So why are folks pushing and rushing to do this? And why did they call for a vote on that draft deal even before they had seen it? There are several council members that are in that boat. Council District number 1, District number 3, Marina Aldrete Gavito, Mark White, Edward Munguia was, my understanding, was also part of that. So you need to reach out to your council members, and if you want independent data, and if you want more time to provide feedback on that draft deal, because again, signing you up for $489 million, then call your council person. That's what we're voting on. Some folks want to vote to push it through. I want to vote. My resolution says we're not voting on anything until we get an independent economic impact study and until the voters have weighed in and provided feedback to their councilmen on the study and on the draft deal. Simple. This is basic due diligence. Basic due diligence. This is what the people are owed.
Are you still for a study to be performed,
Yes,
even
of
if
course. We need an independent-
even if the non-binding term sheet is approved tomorrow? You're still for this study to be performed by the city?
We, of course, need an independent impact study. We need that. We should have had that already. It's ridiculous that we're this far into it and we don't have an independent impact. You know, I just saw your note from the head of the chamber. No business leader in there worth their salt would take analysis that was from somebody else that had a clear benefit, right, as part of that. We need an independent look. I am very cautious. I'm very weary of why folks are afraid of an independent economic impact study. Why can't we just get a fair look, right? Then again, the only numbers that we have at this point are from the Spurs. And again, if that study says, you know what, Spurs numbers, spot on, well then great. I'll walk with Spurs Jesus. We'll go sell this thing all throughout town.
That's what you said earlier this morning.
But I need that independent economic impact study. $489 million requires we do our due diligence. And some folks are saying, oh, it might cost $100K. This will be way more expensive in the long term if we dork this up. So let's do our due diligence. We have the time. Those folks rushing this through on Thursday, you go ask them why they're pushing so hard. Why are they pushing so hard? You should know that. All right, thank you.
Well, Mayor Jones, thank you so much. It's going to be a long day tomorrow. We have over 50 people signed up for a public comment. The meeting begins at 9 a.m. Now we're live downtown. I'm Zach Briggs, KENS 5.
Live TV, Mayor Jones just ran